Yeah.
Actually, pretty sure that the first time we met, I was a horse's ass. Literally.
So how did you go from being like a scrub and like you roll up and John Clements is there and he kicks your ass a lot to like all the things that you did?
Yeah. So there's a biblical line in Isaiah, right, where Isaiah says, "Here am I, send me." And that's actually basically how it happens, right?
But like I want a t-shirt, like Jake's saying, I want a t-shirt. Like I don't want to. I'm not a teacher. I want one.
Like the guy who shouts fire in a movie theater is a leader, right? Because he shouted fire and everybody got up and ran out, right? Oh my God, he has this amazing power. He moved 300 people in a heartbeat, right? Tell us a little bit about that, right? Because I agree, right? I think you're going to Swordfish broke you out of just the WMW crowd. How do you think that happened, and what do you think your responsibility is to the universe based on that?
What if I can also like be a bridge? You know, and I don't know. That's pretty egotistical for me to say, but like that was my motivation. I really like my ideas. I think my ideas are pretty cool.
But that's the here am I, send me. Like that thing that you call egotistical, right? Which I also have, and I made my decision to go to Swordfish largely based on the exact same logic, right? I mean, exact same logic. Uh, that's the necessary weird piece of what may possibly be a benevolent narcissism, which is necessary for people who find themselves in these positions. And I spend a lot of time really agonizing over, is it benevolent? Right? Like, but no, Jess, yes.
Like if I come to you and I'm like, I don't think I like my idea. I think my idea sucks. Like, who wants to take that class?
I'm pretty sure that's somehow how I ended up on this conversation, because there was talk about, oh, we should do this thing. Yeah, we should do this thing in a webinar or something that Jess was on. And then about a week later, I messaged her because I was like, this was such a great idea. Shit, if I bug her about doing it, I better be willing to help.
You said here by send me, right? You are actually the leader right now. You are telling me and Jess what to do, and we are doing it. Because we kind of like the idea, but we weren't gonna like do it unless somebody told us to. I mean, absolutely.
So you're both definitely names within the HEMA world, like teachers for years at this point, leaders, people who are starting events, but you don't get there overnight. And like you said, Jake, this is something where like you just sort of be like, okay, well, I guess I'm the guy. Like somebody's got to give an order.
There wasn't anything else to do. We cobbled together what we had, right? Like, so, and then, yeah, we were self-trained. And one of the things that I think is traumatic for my generation of HEMAists dealing with the current generation of HEMAists, which to be fair, we built, so it's our fault, is this idea that like, you shouldn't have read everything. Like I'm clearly a Lichtenauerist, with a couple of other side hobbies, right? But I have read everything. I freely used Fiore terminology and Lichtenauer terminology from Ringek, from like the Tobler, from the, not even the Tobler translation, pre that, right? From Jörg Bellinghausen's, translation of like the first couple pages that didn't make any sense to any of us, but we were trying, right? And we had Rector's Talhofer.
Like I have 7 cuts in Talhofer. Like we're doing it.
And we had like an online translation of the Novati, and we had like online arguments on Sword Forum and the Hacka Forum, and like that's how we trained, right? We went outside a couple times a week and we drilled really fundamental stuff.
I rolled up to that first sword practice. Picture this. So I'm like 18. I was wearing literal bell bottoms, clogs, and a crop top, like just right here, completely open belly, completely all that. Really
That's
long.
what I wore.
Oh my God.
And we told each other incorrect terminology for the wrong movement. And we, because we were learning so much so fast, what we called what we did changed about once a quarter, right? Maybe twice a year. So that people would leave and come back after a year and be like, wait, I thought this was called da-da-da. No. That's what we thought. Now it's called this.
And it was the 7 cuts, right? And 1 thrust up the middle. Because it was coming out of like manipulated old saber that had been adapted for stage combatants that had been adapted back to a martial. Like it was.
That's HEMA's great dirty secret.
It is a dirty secret.
So we learned to be extremely flexible with our interpretations. And we learned that we had to, mash all this stuff together to figure out what was going on. By the time we get to like 2010, when competition is first starting to hit, in the Western Hemisphere and a lot of this other stuff, we had several books on Ringek. We had many more published sources on things. We had clubs that had a decade, in some cases, 15 years or more of tradition on how to teach a given set of stuff. You had teachers who had actually been teaching long enough that you could probably viably actually call them teachers, even if they would all admit to you that there were still things they were making up as they went, and they were still cobbling stuff together. And frankly, that's still true now, right? Less than it used to be, but now. So I think, that's like you, I came in because I was looking for something else, found something I loved anyway. But then absolutely had to self-train and self-develop. And sure, I went to every workshop and seminar that I could. In 2009, I went to every single HEMA event in the country, and that was like 5 of them. Now there's 5 events like in a month. I mean, not now, but like in general. So it's wildly different. Now you have students that oh yeah, I study Lichtenauer under da-da-da, and they've been doing this for like 6 months. And what they're really saying is, my teacher tells me stuff that he tells me is Lichtenauer, and I have no idea what's even out there, and I've never read a version of any of this. We've been trying to build that for decades, and now we're mad that we built it.